the Skinny with your hosts, Brian Kilby and JD Church.
Yes, this is Get the Skinny episode. What episode is this? Episode 2?
Well, I think technically we're calling it 1 because we had alpha and then we had beta. So I guess we're going to say that this is the real episode 1.
You think so?
No, I think this is episode 3. But if we're going to go by the numbering that we sort of established, it's going to be 1.
Huh. Okay. Well, this is Get the Skinny. This is a podcast where two fat guys take a skeptical approach toward weight loss. And I am Brian Kilby, and that's JD Church back there with his ginormous microphone.
Yes.
I like that a lot.
It's new, and I got it, and I have to show it off, apparently.
It's pretty sweet, dude, I gotta admit. So, it's actually the New Year's show, which I guess is fitting because New Year's the day that everyone makes these crazy New Year's resolutions that no one sticks to, and we'll actually end up talking about that later on in the show. JD, why don't you tell us what's going on in the news? A couple things popped up this week.
Sure. So one thing that I think we'll talk a little bit about and is, let's see, was it the 10 most...
Yeah, I thought this was interesting. So the 10 most intriguing diets of the year. There was a news story about this, and there were some interesting ones. I think my favorite one. Let me get back here. Actually, it's not coming up. This is what happens when you don't check things before the show starts. 10 most.
30-day pizza diet. That's awesome.
Yeah, I remember seeing that one. That was crazy stuff. The caveman diet was one, and it was just like a bunch of protein. Let's see here. So,
well, that's let's see, because there was
the forking diet.
Here.
It's if it's
there
not
it is.
normally eaten with a fork, it's off limits. That's kind of there's lots of bad things you can eat with a fork. Like cake, and
there's not much I can't eat with a fork, really.
This one, it actually goes back to something we talked about last week, which was the Taco Bell diet. It's interesting. I think there's a lot of merit to it, even though there's not a lot of nutrition in Taco Bell. There's not a lot of anything as long as you don't get something that's large and outrageously fatty. Like a soft taco is only 100 fresco style is only 180 calories. If you eat 2 of those and maybe something small to go along with it, it's fairly satisfying. It's not that bad. Of course, that's basically the opposite approach something we mentioned last week, which is the Double Down, which looks appalling, and it got such terrible press, but it's really not that bad for you, especially if you go grilled. So,
Yeah.
Now the thing that it calls here, it says diet choices, intriguing diets of 2010. One thing it calls out is the shake weight, and the shake weight is one of those things that doesn't really do anything.
Is that the simulated masturbatory?
It's the masturbatory tool thing that you can get. Being that this is at the beginning of the year, one thing that you'll notice if you go out anywhere, you'll find lots and lots and lots and lots of diet stuff. Slim Fast. You'll find workout equipment that you will never ever use. And walking into Walmart yesterday, I saw plenty of shake weights standing out there. Will it burn calories? Sure. Is it the most effective means or the most effective motion in burning calories or building muscle? Probably not.
No.
Yeah. So, but let's see. Let me just recap this, and we'll go ahead. The 30-day pizza diet. Eat calories, eat nothing but pizza as long as it's low cal. You can do that.
Well, I don't know.
There's lots of pizza that's not that fattening.
Well, I go back to what we talked about on the beta show. the last show, which is that, I mean, and what you see between the commonality between these is that, again, it's all about the calories in, calories out. So it doesn't matter. Like any of these diets, if you control your calorie intake, is no more or less valid pretty much than any other.
For the most part. Of course, within reason. I mean, if you want to eat nothing but, say, Sundays, you want to eat 1,500 calories in Sundays a day, that may be one Sunday. That may be half a Sunday. Sure, calories in, there's no nutritional value to that whatsoever. You will probably starve to death. Maybe not by means of caloric starvation, but by means of malnutrition.
Well, right, but going back to, say, like the Taco Bell diet, if you eat, say, a taco salad, or if you get a taco like a Supreme or something that has vegetation and some things like that in it, you could, in theory, get enough nutrients from that as long as you're getting something that's within the calorie range.
That's true. That's true.
To do that.
That's true.
But that's no different than anything else, and that's where it's like the diet component of it is, again, misleading, because again it still comes down to what calories you eat as far as what's going to matter.
Rounding out the rest, making money losing weight, which is using a betting pool to lose weight, which actually I think is pretty cool. Number 3 was the no white food diet. Number 4 was the kangatarian diet, nothing but kangaroo meat. Yes. We mentioned the forking diet, the skinny bastard diet, which is the male version of the skinny bitch diet. So,
I have no idea what that is. So.
Cardio Berry, I guess. Workout with testimonials from Nev Campbell, Lucy Lawless, and Amanda Bynes. I probably wouldn't trust that then, even though Lucy Lawless is pretty awesome. Again, number 8, shake weight. Number 9, Taco Bell diet. Number 10, the big breakfast diet. Eat a huge breakfast and then go light for the rest of the day. That's actually, I kind of do that anyway.
Making money lose weight is an interesting one, because they actually did something that's similar to that at my office. They had a competition where people signed up, and then they had weigh-ins, and at the end, whoever had lost the most weight won, like, I don't know, $100 or more, like maybe a $200 gift card, like a Visa gift card from the office and stuff. And I think she ended up losing like 40 pounds or something. But my concern with that is that it's just like any kind of competition where you would lose weight for the period that you're on the competition, and then it would be easier to fall back in because you sort of have a set end to it, and then you don't necessarily have the motivation to keep going. That's not always going to be the case, but that would be my concern with it. But that is actually, I think, a good way to at least maybe jumpstart or kickstart if you're wanting to be on a consistent diet.
Yeah, I did something like this a few years ago. A competition in a department of about 70 people to see who could lose the most weight the quickest. I started out at 280 pounds, which for me isn't that awful. It sounds awful, but it's really not. And I was competing against everyone else in the group, which really wasn't fair, I guess, but I came in second. I lost to someone who lost more weight. He was about 440 pounds. He lost 45 pounds. And yeah, but I was pretty proud of that. But I ended up, as soon as the diet portion was over, ended up trying again, which is my fatal flaw, my weakness, trying to bulk up. And did I bulk? Sure. Did I gain fat? Absolutely. So I guess in my current path, I'm really going to try avoiding bulking up. No more bulking up for me. I'm getting too old anyway. Sad Brian. Okay. An interesting article I ran across this week was diets that didn't work. I guess it's sort of a way to jump to another extreme. Like I mentioned before, the caveman diet, which is eating nothing but like nuts, meat, and fish. That's pretty cool. But the best one, I don't know if you saw this, JD, the tapeworm diet.
I thought the Lucky Strike diet was a little more interesting, but yeah, I've heard of this tapeworm diet. And apparently it started back in the 20s, where you would swallow a live tapeworm, and then in theory, of course, it would eat extra food, and then you could lose weight. The problem with this is that, of course, your body doesn't typically like parasites, so you would get very sick. And in fact, I think you can actually die from that as well.
Yeah, you could.
Because if they start reproducing, and they could you can get other bacteria and parasites and things from that. It's very bad. Not really a way I would try to lose weight.
Like you said, though, the Lucky Strike diet is pretty crazy, too. Instead of reaching for a sweet, reach for a cigarette.
Yes, so smoke yourself to death instead of eating yourself to death. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, but we'll link to these articles in our show notes at, what is our website? It's gettheskinny.org.
Gettheskinny.org, woohoo!
Yeah, it's easy to remember, gettheskinny.org. Okay, let's see here. Amazingly, being it's the holidays, not a whole lot in the way of news this week. Also, I guess, another story, something that I wasn't even really familiar with. FDA warns consumers not to use the Fruta Planta weight loss product. Are you familiar with the Fruta Planta, JD?
I've not heard of it, but I'm familiar with in terms, I mean, there's any number of family of products that are like this, where they essentially are using some sort of supplement-based, concept, or I mean, there's a lot of things going for this one in terms of, skeptical alarm bells going off because it's foreign, it's supposedly all natural and organic, whatever that means, and it's sort of supplement-based, but apparently it has maybe some other dietary effects. I didn't quite see what they were saying. And this is a problem that goes on a lot with when you're looking at dietary products, or in particular if you're looking at supplements. The problem is that a lot of the supplements are falling outside of the range of control of the FDA.
Yes.
The FDA right now is policing things that are considered to be drugs, but if you put that natural, not intended for medical use tag on your product, and you say this isn't considered to be a medicine of any kind, this is considered to be a supplement, well, the CAM proponents have gotten that to fall outside of the realm of the control of the FDA. So, for example, homeopathic products, they fall under this supplement guideline. So, because they're selling water, and as long as they don't make any concrete claims, they can say that the water does whatever it is, helps with your cold or boosts your immune system again, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So I think this is falling under that line because there's some products that do actually have an effect, and as soon as it has an effect, which again doesn't make any sense, but as soon as it has some kind of effect, then the FDA can crack down on it. And I think that's what had happened here. I think that there were some problems or issues as far as their labeling and what the actual substances that were within the product and what they were doing. So
yeah, I appreciate the FDA doing what it can, but there are times that there are things I kind of hate to see, and I'll admit it's sort of like a comfort blanket or something, but I really loved Ephedra. I thought Ephedra was great. And it worked, unlike a lot of these supplements. Oh, it absolutely worked. Killed a couple of people, but they probably should have been taking ephedra to begin with. So, So, while I appreciate the FDA, going out and doing these things, there are certain things. Should ephedra have been banned? Maybe. Maybe not. Most likely, yes. But for people like me who absolutely loved it, it is kind of sad. But I don't need it. You don't need to jack your heart rate up to lose. Cardiovascular. Using cardio exercise, sure, but not chemically. But yeah, FDA, way to go. There are a lot of crackpots out there trying to sell you stuff you don't need, and good. I'm glad they did. Someone actually died from this.
Well, yeah, and then like I said, I don't have a problem with necessarily the companies, selling their products. I think the problem is that I think the products are not being tested properly and they're not being labeled properly, and that's the issue. Because even supplements can have effects. They have effects on your body. But because of the way they're able to label the products, when they label them like that, the big thing is they're not tested by the FDA.
True.
So that's where the issue comes in. When you're taking medication, those things are tested by the FDA to make sure that they're safe. But when you're taking a supplement, those aren't tested. They fall outside of the range of the FDA testing. So unless there is something else that comes into it, like where this did, where it was confirmed that they had a chemical in it that needed to be controlled, that it's falling out by the wayside. I mean, I think you should take and can take whatever you want. That's up to you. That's that's your personal choice as a consumer. But I think as a consumer, you need to be made aware of what those products are and what they actually do. And to say that it's not intended for medical use and none of these claims have been tested, that's not enough.
Yeah. I wouldn't buy a power strip that wasn't signed off on by the Underwriters Laboratory, but all the time I take in mysterious chemicals that aren't approved by the FDA. And not that there's anything wrong, like you said, with buying things that aren't approved by the FDA, but sometimes you got to wonder, what is the quality control on this? Is there any quality control whatsoever? This is supposed to get my heart rate up so that I can go longer and harder, or working out. Well, maybe not, but so I mean, but what kind of testing has been involved? Has anyone had any ill effects? What are the side effects? Virtually everything has side effects. These are important things to know, and the claims that you see on TV, unless it's approved by the FDA, you really don't have any safety net, I guess, for lack of a better word. Let's go ahead and jump into our weekly weigh-in, and let me just go back and sort of remind people in the podcast what we're going to do is we are going to let you track. You can go to gettheskinny.org, and on the page we have a little tracking thing. When I was I used to be much heavier than I am now. I lost about close to 200 pounds, and doing it publicly helped out a lot. And I sort of fell off the wagon, ended up gaining about 100 pounds back, and I'm wanting to lose it. That's my goal, is to lose about 105 pounds. So each week, JD and I are going to weigh in, let you know where we stand, and encourage you to do the same. You can email us at contact@tfradio.net. You can start your own blog. We'll be glad to help you promote it. So, whatever you want to do. Just weigh in weekly, and it's a great way to keep yourself honest and keep yourself trending down. So this week I weighed in. Last time I weighed in at 343, which is 103 pounds above my goal. My goal is to weigh 240 pounds. Given my build and size, it's a pretty reasonable weight. And I say that it's pretty reasonable weight. I have actually gone to my doctor, and my doctor says, yes, this is a fine weight for you. So you absolutely want to do the same. So, disclaimer, just want to say that we're not nutritionists, we're not healthcare professionals, we're just two guys who want to get healthy. So, but last week I weighed in at 343. This weekend I weighed in at 345, which is not as bad as it sounds. Sure, it's 2 pounds up, but I have gained 2 pounds this whole holiday season. Last holiday season, I gained 50 frickin' pounds. So I'm actually pretty glad with that only 2 pounds gained. JD, what about you?
Yeah, I'm kind of in a weird spot because I think I'm so large. I think I have to have like 3 or 4 plateaus to get a good weight. I mean, I think my end result that I'm wanting to get to is like the 280, but I think I need to set. I think my first weight goal is 450 right now. So I actually had weighed in last week because I think we had weighed 2 weeks ago. Last week, I had gained almost 3 pounds, putting me at 515.8, and weighed in today at 516.6. So I gained another pound.
I can blame mine on fudge. How about you, sir?
Yeah, I didn't eat okay. So I didn't necessarily eat a lot more over the holidays. We didn't end up making any Christmas candies or anything. They had some stuff at work, but not a lot. I mean, I didn't really eat a lot at work. probably most of it from the 26th and maybe previous was probably that week of Christmas eating and stuff from work, and then what we were eating. This week is probably mostly alcohol. On the 30th, I went out with some friends to an Irish pub and didn't really have a lot of food there, but maybe a little bit. I'm pretty sure I consumed at least 9 Guinness.
Wow.
And I say at least 9 because I'm pretty sure I paid for 7. They brought me at least 2 free, and those are the ones that they put on the bill.
Awesome.
So there may have been more there. I don't know if you know this or not, but there are calories in alcohol.
Really?
Yeah. So that probably wasn't a very good choice. And then, of course, New Year's, as my wife put it, we sort of drank the entire backyard. If it was an alcoholic beverage, we drank it. A friend had come over, and he's really into classic drinks. And he made a Tom and Jerry. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
No.
Apparently, it's sort of a turn-of-the-century drink. You make it with an egg foam, which basically you take eggs, separate it, whip the whites, beat together the yolks, and then put those together and mix them. That goes in the bottom. Then you add a hot liquid or hot tea, and then basically 2 shots worth of alcohol. It tastes amazing, but if you think about it with the eggs and the alcohol and everything, it's probably not the most healthy, low-calorie thing to drink. And I probably had at least 3 of those and about 8 glasses of champagne. So that's probably not going to be very conducive to losing weight. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah.
So I don't see, and it's kind of like you say, it's the holidays. We tend to eat more during the holidays. It's why dieting, so to speak, becomes popular after the holidays, because you tend to put weight on. I also haven't been doing any of the stuff that I had said I was going to. I haven't started walking yet or anything. So
I started. Okay, I guess. Okay,
we'll get there.
We mentioned some of the things that we were going to do. Walking was a big thing. I'm going to start walking and jogging more. I've actually kept walking fairly well in the last 2 weeks. I've gone like 3 times, which, my goal was to go every day. But, there's been a lot of snow.
Just a little bit out there, right?
Yeah, so, and it's been really, really cold, and I hate to make excuses, but it has been. So what I did today, I have an Xbox 360 with Kinect. I actually, Amazon's deal of the day was EA Sports Active 2, which is regularly like $100, and I ordered it from Amazon for $47. So on days that I can't go out and walk, I'm going to be doing that, and hopefully doing that anyway. I've been planning on working out on my Bowflex, but the problem is Bowflex is very temperature sensitive, and if it's not warm, the power rods are prone to bending and not, bouncing back. So I love my Bowflex. It's like the best thing ever, but if it's not like 70 degrees, don't even bother. So I've been cutting back on soda. I love soda. I was drinking like a 2-liter a day. Caffeine, diet, but still, that's a lot. There's a lot of crazy chemical X stuff in there that you probably shouldn't. Like too much caffeine is not a good thing. So I'm cutting back on that. One thing I'm eating, and I actually saw this. My wife introduced it to me. She read about it on the Hungry Girl blog, or Vitatops. They were freaking amazing. I love these things. They are like 100 calories a piece. They're incredibly decadent for diet food. I guess if you're eating high octane, bags of sugar, they're not that decadent. But for someone who's very much in a diet mode, they are delicious. And I actually bought several of those. You can actually, if you go to our website, you can actually click a link on it to find out more. Great stuff. Really, really good. So between walking, diet and Vitatops and fudge, I gained 2 pounds, but no, there will be no fudge next week. I promise. No fudge. So you plan on doing some walking? What else were you going to do?
I think. Well, again, the other thing with the holidays is because you have days off and things. It's really kind of thrown my eating schedule off. And I think I mentioned this on one of the earlier shows. At least as far as breakfast and lunch goes, in particular during the week, I eat pretty good. I have a bowl of oatmeal for breakfast that I make, and I don't put a lot of junk in it. I mean, I have a banana with it. I put a little bit of brown sugar and, just a little bit of butter just to kind of add some sweetness and consistency to it. And then for lunch, I'm taking a salad, which is mostly lettuce and carrots and like canned chicken and a little bit of cheese.
Do you like canned chicken?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't eat it. It just there's something about it that I don't like at all. I love, for example, canned tuna, but I just can't do the canned chicken. So
I've eaten that for long. In fact, I prefer that to the canned tuna. But no, and there's nothing. I mean, it's a little bit of preservatives and stuff that they put in it, but it's not too bad. But I'll put that and a little bit of cheese, and then I actually make homemade croutons. And
so you just let bread sit out? Is that how it works?
No, not exactly. No, I take these I made actually from leftover bread rolls from Thanksgiving. I cubed, and then you bake them at a really low temperature in the oven, basically just to dry them out. And those are great. They were great. And pretty cheap too for as much as you can make them for, and they don't have added salt or things like that to them. But anyway, so salad for lunch and then the oatmeal for breakfast. So it really just comes down to dinner and snacking. So I'm trying to get more of like the 100-calorie stuff as far as snacking throughout the day, just to kind of keep a little bit going. And then dinner, and I think the big thing one of the things I need to work on is the portion control, making sure that I get smaller portions of what I'm eating for dinner.
It's really hard. It's not as easy as people think.
No, I'm thinking one thing that I might do, and I've heard that this works from a psychological standpoint. I don't know how it's going to work from an actual standpoint.
Dropping your
as
plate
I may
size,
actually start,
making smaller plates.
Yes, start using a smaller plate.
It doesn't work. Not for me.
So, well, it would work in the sense that if you fill the plate and then you don't get more. But I'm afraid that it wouldn't be filling, so I would end up getting more, and then I would probably eat more than I would if I would have just put it on the regular plate to begin with. So, I don't know. But and again, as far as like my food, I make a lot of my own food. I'm making pasta now.
Awesome.
So yeah, I made. Actually, I just finished the last of it for lunch. I had made spaghetti, and I made my own pasta for it and everything. So I don't know if that's necessarily nutritionally better, but again, you typically get to leave out some of the salt.
And it's probably cheaper too, though. Even if it's not, is it not cheaper to do that?
No, I think it's pretty close. I was actually looking at the grocery store. There was like a package of spaghetti noodles. It was like 86 cents for the Walmart brand of spaghetti noodles. And I made the batch of spaghetti that I made, and I may have ended up with too much as far as the noodles. Was like 4 eggs and maybe 2 to 2.5 cups of flour. So that probably works out to about 50 cents or less in terms of material. And of course I had to have the pasta machine to make it, but eventually over time it'll pay for itself.
Cool. Okay. Just I guess one more quick thing to mention before we jump into the topic. We're actually running long, which is nice because it's usually the other way around.
Yeah.
But I guess one thing I did want to mention, I've done a little bit of blogging this week. We're both going to try to do our best to blog more because blogging keeps you honest and keeps you to it. I did one video update this week. I really want to do. I really truly want to do one YouTube post today. Don't know that I'll be able to keep to it, but yesterday, Kim and I were watching the Learning Channel or Discovery Channel, one of those channels, and something I'd watched before, which was Half Ton Teen, and it's something I always make fun of. Mom, I want to play Xbox, or Mama, would you give me some more Mountain Dew? I make fun of it every single time I see it, but I shouldn't, and the whole point of Half Ton Teen, at least, is that it's really, really, really easy to get fat. if you lose track of what you eat, and we're all really subject to that. Some people take it to extreme, but it's something that I've put a lot of thought into, and I really don't. I mean, like I said, I used to be really fit, and getting married, and a couple, like less than a year later, I gained 100 pounds, just because I let myself fall out of my usual routine. And it can happen to anybody. It happens to lots of people. So I'm gonna sort of do some not necessarily a commentary, but sort of like a video essay on that. So look for that sometime next week. Okay, our discussion this week. Wanted to run through it really quick. This is the beginning of the year. It's the time people do New Year's resolutions, and I guess our question is that the appropriate thing to do? Should we make resolutions for the new year, or should we just make lifestyle changes and stick with it irrespective of some sort of date? I mean, if you make a change and you stick to it, that's not a bad thing.
Well, no, and I think it can go both ways, and I think the problem with the New Year's resolution is that in a sense it's become such a fad and become such a social norm to break your New Year's resolution that there's almost an expectation that now that you're going to make a New Year's resolution and then you're not going to follow through. So I don't know about the value of doing that per se as say, this is my New Year's resolution is to lose weight. Any more than the value is of just deciding to say, I am going to do this because I need to do this. And I think you're onto the part at least where the trick is staying to it or making the choice to make a life goal of it. Because are you saying that this is the year that you start to lose weight and then you're going to make a concerted effort to do it, or are you saying that it's this year that you're going to try? I don't know. I just like the idea of deciding to do something and doing it irregardless of what the calendar says.
Yeah, like I said, this is the time of year that retailers really prey on you wanting to make a change, and they, I'm certain someone in their office really does want to help you out, but they're helping you out by selling you crap. SlimFast is great, and I think actually SlimFast works. Their studies prove that SlimFast works. It's tasty. If you can sort of do that, great. But you go to Walmart or Target or wherever, and you see nothing but SlimFast. You see crap like the shake weights. You see Jillian Michaels' face everywhere. Her selling you detoxifying stuff. Detoxing. I don't know if JD disagrees, but detoxing is crap.
Yeah, that doesn't work at all.
It's crap.
It's complete nonsense.
Yeah.
If you have toxins in your body, that's what your liver's for.
Yeah.
And they go away. And if they don't go away, then you probably get sick and you probably die.
Yeah.
So detoxing is crap.
So, yeah, but retailers really kind of prey on your, I guess really, for lack of a better word, your self-image, I guess. Your,
well, and I think that's the other reason that the whole, it's not that it doesn't work as far as saying you're going to lose weight, because again, it's like we talk about, it's the holidays. This is the time of year when you eat a lot, and it's winter, so you're not as active. So you typically put weight on, and then people that don't necessarily have consistent weight problems, they probably work it back off, as time goes on. So, but it's only, people that struggle with obesity or that are largely inactive that are going to have a consistent problem with it. And we're the people that need to be not making these sort of arbitrary resolutions. We need to be making consistent life changes as far as our diet and exercise goes. Yeah,
so don't get, I guess we're saying don't get stuck in the New Year's resolution trap. If you're going to make a life change, make a life change. If you're going to do it now, but stick to it. Don't make this, arbitrary decision. Just I'm going to make a change, and 3 weeks from now, you have those cans of SlimFast sitting in your fridge, under all of the boxes of pizza that you're never going to touch them. You're just going to throw them out. If you want to make a change, you have to make a change, and you have to stick to it. It has to be something that is something you can repeat, something you can do over and over again. Dieting is not really a valid, path. You need to make good eating choices, and you need to stick with them. You don't want to eat nothing but flour and grapefruit all day. That's not, that you can't live on that. You can't do Atkins forever. A friend of mine's doing Atkins, and he just stopped because it's an quote unquote an off cycle. This off cycle will probably last for the rest of his life. Make good decisions, stick with them, and you're going to get results. I mean, if you count your calories, you eat reasonably. If you see your doctor, there are ways to lose weight. It just requires hard work. Nothing's easy.
Yep.
So, any other thoughts on that, JD?
No, I think we.
Okay, well, we're running into Fanboy versus time, so let's go ahead and wrap things up. Visit our website. This is episode 3, or it's beta 4, or it's Alpha Centauri 5, or Omega Sentinel. I don't know. It's it's episode 2. I'm going to say
we'll say it's episode 2.
This is episode 2.
I like episode 2.
Yeah, Get the Skinny episode 2. Go to our website at getttheskinny.org, getttheskinny.org. You can follow us on Twitter at GTS Podcast. You can also follow us at TF Radio, but you're probably not going to get a lot in the way of weight loss. But actually, we should have an RFC diet. That would be awesome.
Ooh, yes.
So, again, follow us on Twitter at GTS Podcast. Visit us. Watch our beta shows at getttheskinny.org. Well, I guess for JD Church, I'm Brian Kilby. We will be back next week.
This has been Get the Skinny with your hosts, Brian Kilby and JD Church. Copyright 2010 Radio Free Cybertron. Get the Skinny.